Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So recently I had kind of a real frustrating and confusing experience. And I thought I'd share it with you if I can help one person out with this thing. I guess mission accomplished. So anyway, what I was trying to do is convert my existing fluorescent lighting over to LED. And you wouldn't think that would be such a tough deal, but it turned out to be a real confusing and frustrating experience. So anyway, basically these lights here, I bought these lights years ago from a friend of mine. Uh, he's an antique dealer and he come across these fixtures, and I think he said they came out of a storefront. I can't really remember, but anyway, I got a good deal on them. There's five 4-foot fluorescent fixtures. They're just basic. They're probably 30 years old. I don't know, but they work great. In the summertime, they work great. And the issue I was having is as winter approaches, and you come out here and you flip the lights on. Well, these ballasts they don't want to come on. You're lucky if one comes on if it's colder in here. Sometimes two will come on. And it could take 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes if it's colder in here. Basically, I don't keep this garage hot all the time. I heat it with this little electric heater, and I don't like to run this thing all the time. It's pretty expensive to run these things consistently, so basically I turn that thing on when I'm out here doing work. So the rest of the time, this is an attached garage, so it might get down to 5 degrees Celsius. But when it gets down to 8 or 10 degrees Celsius, these lights give me a lot of trouble, and they've still got the old ballast in there. So in the summertime they work great. I find probably once a year I do have to buy a pack of bulbs. 10 pack like this would run me about $45. So 45 bucks every year I would throw in some bulbs, and I've never replaced the ballast. Anyway, at our shop, the shop that I work at, we converted to LED lights in there, and I was really impressed by how bright they were. And at the time, I was sort of thinking of doing that. That was a year ago, and also a buddy of mine at the time was selling LED bulbs. And I was kind of confused at that time. The shop lights, we changed all the tombstones. It was a requirement, and the bulbs my buddy was selling, he says they didn't require tombstones. You just hook one set of wires to the neutral and the other set to the positive, and you're good to go. And that was confusing, and I tried to do a little research on that, and then things got in the way, and it never happened. I never did get these things converted last year. So anyways, when it was an issue this fall, and these lights started to act up again, I thought, well, this is going to be the year I'm going to deal with it. So I did talk to a coworker, and he said, well, he just bought a set of plug-and-play lights, and they're in his garage, same type of fixture, and they work great. When he flips on the light, doesn't matter if it's cold or not, these things work. So I thought, well, maybe that's an option. So I went down to our local lighting warehouse in town here, and I talked to a nice young lady there. I told her my situation with the cold start, and she gave me a couple of options. She mentioned that the plug-and-play bulb was $11.99 and the ballast delete bulb was $17.99. So basically I made my decision solely based on price. I decided to give the plug-and-play bulbs a try, and of course I came home and rolled them all in this fixture here, and none of them worked. And then I took them out of there and I tried them in this fixture here, and they still didn't work. So after reading the fine print on the bulb, I realized that my ballast was not compatible with that plug-and-play bulb. And that warehouse is only open weekdays, and they close at 4:30, so I missed my window to return the 10 bulbs I bought, it cost me $124. Brought those bulbs home, they didn't work. I had to wait till the following Friday, which is today, to return them. And unfortunately, the box the girl gave me was all kind of tore up, and I picked up the box today, and of course a bulb slid out of it, and I busted a bulb. So then I had 124 bucks worth of bulbs that I couldn't use, and one of them was busted. So now I'm returning 9 bulbs. Anyway, I went back to that warehouse and bought 9 bulbs today. And I asked the fella, a nice young guy, I told him I wanted the one-sided 4-foot LED with non-shunted tombstones. I had done my research. That's what I wanted. Last weekend I actually converted this fixture. I went to Home Depot because, basically I just did a Google search. Who else sells these things? And Lowe's, Home Depot, and Canadian Tire were 3 options that I had. And I decided to go to Home Depot. I've bought lights there before. They had a fairly large selection. Apparently, online it said that they had several Ballast Elite options in stock. So I went down there. Of course, they had 16 different plug-and-play versions and 1 Ballast Elite version. And what I did was I read everything I could on every box there. And there's so many different versions of this plug-and-play bulb. You really got to know what you're doing. You got to read all the fine print. Those plug-and-play bulbs, it didn't work out for me. So you really got to know what you're buying. You got to know what you have. You got to open up your fixture, take a look at your ballast, see what it says on there. The ones I got from the warehouse obviously didn't work. This is the type of ballast I had in there. This is 4 of the 6 that I changed. So the only version I could buy at Home Depot was it was 39 bucks for 2 bulbs. Of course I needed 4, and it comes with the kit. It comes with the non-shunted tombstones. I brought them home. I put them in this fixture here, and I at least had 1 working light. And this one was kind of the most important one because it's right over my workbench, and it wasn't working at all. It was driving me crazy, and I wanted to get that guy working at least the one. So it would cost me 88 bucks to convert this one fixture over. So today I asked for, I wanted to keep this all kind of the same, for future obvious reasons. I don't want to have 16 different bulbs and all these different fixtures and just make it confusing in the future when I go. I don't have a great memory, so when I go to change these things in the future, I was hoping to keep them all the same. Unfortunately, the process there with COVID, I didn't see the product he picked for me. I didn't see the paperwork until I actually was walking out the door with the product, and it kind of worked in my favor in a way. I didn't end up paying $17.99 a bulb. What I ended up with was a 2-sided bulb instead of the single-sided bulb that I wanted. And instead of non-shunted tombstones that I asked for, he sold me shunted tombstones, which were no good to me because the 2-sided bulbs require a shunted tombstone, which I already had in my fixture. So it was kind of a ridiculous. Now on the upside, the difference in price, I actually got money back. I got $36 back even after breaking a bulb. Originally I paid $124. I got $112 applied to my thing, and I ended up with a credit. So to basically convert these 2 fixtures cost me $75.40, and this one cost me $88. Now there is a big difference in bulbs here, and that's something the guys got to be aware of. Now these bulbs and this fixture here that I bought at Home Depot are kind of the creme de la creme of fluorescent bulbs. They're dimmable, they've got all the, they're plastic, they're non-shatter, they're shatterproof. All those things. I really didn't want that. I was just hoping for your basic one-sided power in, and what I mean by that, there's basically there's A, B, C, D. There's 4 different types of bulbs out there, and there's probably more. That's the ones that I've come across, and there's 2 or 3 different ways to wire these things. Now, I can go over some of the basics that I've learned. Keep in mind, I'm not an electrician, I'm a mechanic. I don't have all the answers to this, but I can tell you the things that I went through and how I converted these and what was involved and what the cost was. So basically, I already mentioned the plug and play bulb. There's several different kinds. Very confusing. You really got to know what you got. I think my buddy, he figures he got lucky and he just ended up with the correct bulb and it worked for him. And that's great. For me, it didn't work out that way. But that's bulb A, or they call it version A. Version B is what I ended up buying today. They're a 2-sided bulb, which means you've got power in on one side, your black wire feeds one side of the bulb, and your white wire, which is your neutral, feeds the other side of the bulb. So very easy to wire up. Actually, both versions are very easy to do. It took me about 10 minutes to do each fixture, so I spent 20 minutes converting these 2 lights that you see here. And the one above me took a little bit longer because it required the non-shunted tombstones, so you have to pull out the old tombstones. And what I'm referring to when I say tombstones are these little guys here. Now when I was doing my research, I actually tested my tombstones in my fixtures to make sure that, you know, exactly what I had. Most fluorescent fixtures already have shunted tombstones, and what it means is there's continuity right around here, and both sides will have power, which a non-shunted tombstone, these 2 poles are actually separated, so you can have power on one side and neutral on the other. And the way you test them here is you can do it with a multimeter. Basically, the easiest way is just to put it on a continuity test, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this little thing squeal for us here, but when I touch it there, so that's telling me there's continuity. I'm going to try to do this one-handed here. So this one here is a shunted tombstone. There's connection on both sides. This one here is a non-shunted tombstone. So 2 different poles in this guy. And it's really hard to, you know, by looking at them, they look exactly the same. This one's a little longer for some reason, I don't know why. But the ones inside my fixture look exactly like this, so they're same diameter, same length, everything's identical. But this is a non-shunted, and the ones in my fixture, of course, are shunted. So, kind of a confusing thing. I got 2 different types of bulbs now. I got a 2-pole and I got a single-sided. So I've marked the inside of the fixtures to kind of, you know, for future reference. But yeah, kind of do your research. This is the way to go. Everything in our world is going to LED now. They're a lot cheaper to run. They last a lot longer. They're a lot brighter. Everything in our world is going that way. In the automotive business, everything is LED now. Our appliances are LED. Just this year, they converted all our street lights to LED, and they're much brighter. Everything's going that way. It's just cheaper to operate, way cheaper. The bulbs last much longer, and of course they're a lot brighter. So anyway, that's it was kind of an ordeal to get this all done, and to be honest with you, I wasn't too interested in running around to a bunch of places. With the COVID thing going on, the wife and I, we basically stay pretty close to home. Only really venture out if we need to, you know, the grocery store and things like that. So I really didn't want to zip around to 100 different places trying to sort this light thing out. I ended up going to that warehouse twice, which was one time too many as far as I'm concerned. But in the end, I ended up with, now I've got only 3 fixtures converted here. Now these 2 above my car on the hoist, they are working fine. It seems they, you know, the ballast might be a little stronger on those 2 up there. Unfortunately, they don't offer a lot of light. You can see how dark it is underneath the car. So I'm going to leave those alone for this year and maybe tackle them next year. For this year, I've got these 3 guys going. They're kind of the most important to me right now. This is where I do all my work in the garage, and on this side, and of course the workbench is here. So yeah, that's it. It's a confusing deal. It really shouldn't be. Even when you go to the store and you ask for a certain thing, and I repeated my order twice and I still got the exact opposite of what I wanted. In the end, I saved a little bit of money. I was thinking it was going to cost me $440 to convert all 5 fixtures over, and in the end it's going to be a little cheaper than that, which is good. I just hope, you know, as the industry changes, that when I do go to change these bulbs in the future, I don't have problems. Certainly the fluorescent stuff is going away. Eventually we're not going to be able to buy fluorescent tubes. They've got this plug and play version going right now, and a lot of people are going that way because it's just simpler, easier to just run that bulb into the fixture without any wiring, without removing a ballast. It's a simpler thing to do, and they sell a lot of them today, but eventually those are going to be phased out as well. At least that's my feeling. I just hope that what I've converted to here is going to stay that way in the future. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you guys. Really confusing deal. I will have some car videos coming up shortly here. I apologize. I really thought I'd have a big library of car videos. I got a lot of buddies with some neat cars out there. Now Calvin, he's got himself another project. He's working hard on it, and that one I'm really excited to share with you. It's kind of a neat car and a unique car. Also Ken, he's got some really exciting things happening with the wagon, and Riley, he's got a new project as well, and it's a full-blown major restoration on a 67 Mustang. So those are guys that you've seen on my channel already, and there's a whole host of other guys that have agreed to videos, and yeah, it's just got to make it happen. Like I say, the COVID thing has really put a damper on, you know, getting some videos in my library here. I wanted to make this all about cars, and the last couple, it hasn't worked out that way. But this video today, I really hope that maybe my experience, I can share this with you, and maybe somebody will benefit for that. I hope so. This was a ridiculous deal, but I finally got 3 of the 5 fixtures done, and I'm really happy about that. It is an expensive thing to do initially, but once it's done, these things are supposed to pay for themselves in time. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Good luck with your lights, and certainly bang on that subscribe button, and give me a like, and hit the notification and stuff like that, and shoot me a comment as well. I'm always open to comments. So read all the good, bad, ugly. So whatever you got, send it my way. Thanks very much, guys.